Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Cardano and its native token ADA, the racehorse of the market cycle. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. Now, the entire asset class has seen a fairly substantial pullback, okay? Bitcoin, we know, has pulled back from around $64,000. Currently it's trading at $36,000. It went all the way down to $30,000. So it in fact did have a literal halving in the price. ADA, on the other hand, has been holding up relatively well. And this is one of those things that we say over and over again. It's too stressful to try to pick different projects every single week or every single weekend to go on a crazy run. It's really hard to do that consistently and to know when to get out. What's more important is picking projects that will stand the test of time, okay? That will stand the test of time. And if you pick projects that you think will stand the test of time, then you just simply don't care about what happens in between. You don't care about the noise. You see the project for what it is, and you just follow it for the duration of the market cycle. Now, I will remind you that if you have ADA and you want to earn interest on it, remember to check out my stake pool, ITC. Go earn interest on your ADA. We'll leave a link in the description below on how to do that if you're not sure how, to a video that will show you how. So, what's interesting to me is that ADA is currently trading at prices higher than it was trading at in late April and in February, March, January. It's trading at prices higher. Now, one of the reasons that you could argue that it's trading better now than it was over here was because it had this nice 2x from $1.20 or so, maybe a little bit less, up to around 240. So what essentially happened is this 2x essentially completely negated the negative sentiment that would have come if the price had come down from this point. So there were a lot of cryptocurrencies that were more or less just range bound here, and they were moving sideways for a few months after these crazy run-ups. But a lot of them did not have this final pump. But because ADA did have that little pump right there, its retracement, which by the way was still like 60%. I mean, look at this pullback. We've said before to expect 60% pullbacks on altcoins, including Cardano or ADA at the very least. All right, you got a 60% pullback. There's the proof that you can have a 60% pullback even on a project that we do think will stand the test of time. So with that said, this nice little pump that ADA had was able to mitigate some of the negative sentiment that would have come had it not pumped and then come down from these levels, because then it would have left a whole lot of investors that bought in up here feeling somewhat trapped. Right now though, because it went up, the retracement basically just took it back to where it was a few weeks before. So there's a lot more people that bought ADA over here or even down below than bought it up here, because we just spent so little time up in that area. We spent very little time up here. There would not have been that much time to buy it. Here we spent months. We spent months and months, and all these people that were buying over here are still looking relatively good. I mean, the price is trading at $1.66. Now, what's interesting is when you look at the ADA Bitcoin valuation, ADA is moving up against Bitcoin right now, generally speaking. I mean, yeah, it had a pullback on, starting May 17th. And starting May 17th is when things really started to get nasty for Bitcoin, but we expect this. You just brush it off the shoulder, right? We expect that. Bitcoin has a crazy pullback. Altcoins are going to have a knee-jerk reaction to them. Okay, we expect that, and that makes a lot of sense. And we also know that if Bitcoin were to continue to kick the bucket and maybe come back down, then ADA is going to take a hit. But the great thing is that ADA has rebounded so strong that even if it did take a hit, I mean, we could drop 40% and still be about $1, which is pretty significant compared to where a lot of other projects have pulled back to in the recent price pullbacks. I mean, right now Bitcoin has pulled back from 64K all the way down to 36K, and it's been a lot of time up here in the high 50 to low 60 range, a lot of time up there. So right now ADA is actually looking relatively strong against Bitcoin, which is fairly impressive considering that Bitcoin right now is in fact below its 20-week SMA. This is fairly impressive. Okay, I'll say it again. ADA is gaining ground on Bitcoin right now, despite the fact that Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin has dropped, over 50% earlier. It's not 50% now, but 40 to 50% drop. ADA looks relatively strong, and it's been gaining on Bitcoin over the last several days. Now, before everyone goes and schedules their Forbes interview, I think we need to be cautious, as always. But remember that whatever noise happens, if we have a major pullback or not, if Bitcoin kind of holds these levels and ADA continues to perform, it's just business as usual. We have a long way to go for the cycle, and ADA still looks relatively strong to me. The ADA Bitcoin valuation is currently at 4,500 Satoshis. For us to get back up to the local top that we just had a few weeks ago, we would need to go up another 12% or so. For an invariant Bitcoin, that would put the price of ADA at about $1.87 or so. Okay, and that would get you back to the local top that ADA had against Bitcoin. If we were to go to the global top of where ADA was against Bitcoin, that would represent another 95 or 96% move. And for an invariant Bitcoin, a 95% move would actually put the valuation of ADA over $3. Okay, so I've got plenty of predictions out there for ADA for this market cycle. I do think we have a long way to go. As I always said, there's going to be 60% drops along the way. That's just more or less par for the course for crypto. You can't have these crazy run-ups. I mean, ADA's done 100x. If you were buying over here, if you were buying back over here, you're up essentially 100x, and at some point you were up over 100x at this point. So you can't have 100x moves without having some downside risk, and you saw a lot of people lived through a taste of that downside risk with a 60% pullback. This is probably not the only 60% pullback that ADA will have during this market cycle. So, I do think that ADA has a really good shot of making it to the $5 to $10 range this market cycle. And again, I think that the route, especially if we go to $10, the route to a $10 ADA would certainly have some substantial pullbacks along the way. So the best way that I have found to navigate crypto is to not jump projects based on whatever's pumping that weekend, but again, to find the projects that you do think will stand the test of time. At the end of the day, a year ago, we called ADA the racehorse for the cycle, for the market cycle, at 2 cents, at 5 cents, at 10 cents, at 20 cents, 30, 40, 50, $1, $1.50, the racehorse for the market cycle. There's going to be some laps where maybe the horse goes a little bit slower if Bitcoin is not doing so hot, but at the end of the day, I think it generally is leading the pack. And it can't help but want us to say as it passes by, atta girl. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out the ITC stake pool if you want to earn interest on your ADA. Thank you for humoring my dad jokes. I'll see you next time. Bye.